Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me today is Ben.
Heyo.
And as we were just discussing, I have no internal metronome. When I used to play piano, honestly, part of the fun for me was then trying to play pieces as fast as I possibly could, because that was fun.
I mean, that's a legitimate way to tackle piano.
Yeah. I just don't have a...
Your metronome has
that has
one
to deal with
setting, and that setting is speed.
Yes. Or I can, just space out and make it real bad.
Great.
I could do that, too.
Band teachers hate him. Man, so I am pumped for our episode today.
Nice. I'm glad.
My body is ready.
Because I like all these shows. So.
Man. Yeah, so I'm gonna kick it off. We're discussing a handful of cartoons today. It's basically another episode of Ben Gets Cultured.
Yeah. It's like 4 shows that I've been thinking about recently for various reasons.
So with one partial exception, I actually have a tiny bit of experience with these shows, just because all of them are generally old enough to be in my wheelhouse, just as common knowledge, sort of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
It's funny how little knowledge I have, while also it still feels like enough. I guess it's very weird. So our list of shows is Invader Zim, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which is 2010. That's the series from 2010. It's something like that, right? It's not old Scooby-Doo is what I'm getting at.
Yes, it was. It was 2010 to 2013. Right?
Okay. Scooby-Doo, Samurai Jack, and Batman Beyond.
Yes.
So generally, a good chunk of late 90s, early 2000s stuff, which, that's right in my cartoon wheelhouse. Yeah, the only one I didn't have any direct experience with is Scooby-Doo. I do recall talking about that one with you, because I had mentioned something about, old Scooby-Doo, and the fact that it had, a laugh track or whatever. It just... Old Scooby-Doo is a kind of a cursed feeling if I watch it. It's a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah. On Cartoon Network, they would just, on Sunday, they would just show Scooby-Doo cartoons for hours and hours.
Ugh.
And I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo, and it's not good. It's... Unless, there is a mind space you can get into where it's watchable, but...
Some of the movies I have, a soft spot for, but yeah. It's...
Well, I do think I do think there's an arc with Scooby-Doo where it starts to approach getting good, and then Mystery Incorporated is the success, where it's finally actually really good.
Yeah.
But there's, a little curve of... them trying things with Scooby-Doo, the live action movie honestly is at least trying things, and then the movies they made with starting with the zombie one, where the gimmick was the stuff was real.
Yeah.
I forget when that was, but they started doing those movies one a year or whatever, and those were okay. Those were a step up for sure.
Yeah, so I remember I remember that's kind of how you would mention that particular show to me.
Although actually the best Scooby-Doo TV show before Mystery Incorporated was A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, and that's also that doesn't really fit into my arc, but
okay,
that was just that one was just okay. That was from 88.
Oh, yeah. How old it is. Like, what did it start? What was the original one? Like 60s, early 60s?
69.
Oh, okay, late 60s. Yeah. Oh, that's a
Yeah,
beefy cartoon.
early 60s.
Um,
And also, it's also that, like, then there are a billion Scooby-Doo knockoff shows, which I've also watched a bunch of.
great. Ugh, Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
knockoff.
Like
Yeah,
Jabberjaw.
I'm good without doing those.
It's like, what if Scooby-Doo was a giant talking shark? I forget what
dear.
comedian he's doing an impressive impression of.
Ugh. Sharky Doo. Yeah.
I mean, also they're a band, you know,
Yeah, as you
as
do.
you do.
Which
They live
do
in an
you
undersea
know
world.
which variant of Scooby Doo had the shit? What's the band? The Witch Sisters or the Hell Sisters or something? It's like
The Hex Girls.
the Hex Girls. I mean, their name should just be the Slammin' Hotties, but like that was a moment in television for me.
I think they were like the third of those movies.
Okay, all
Like
right, it was a
They,
film.
yeah. So that was the late '90s movies.
Bless.
No, it was the second one. So the first one was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, and then the second one was Witch's Ghost, which is where the Hex Girls showed up.
Wait,
Fun fact: Hex Girls show up in an early episode of Mystery Incorporated.
noise.
So that's the other thing I love about Mystery Incorporated is it is like there is so much Scooby-Doo like stuff. Like it brings back so many things from other Scooby-Doo stuff. Like it rewards me for having watched all this bad Scooby-Doo.
See, even I like, even in the, I mean, well, let's circle around the others quick, and then we can get back. And
Sure.
we can dive in. Just,
Yeah.
for
So
the
I will. I'll say my reasons for picking these shows.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
are more specific than others. So I started with Invader Zim, just because they just made a movie that like just came out.
Yeah,
that
Enter
like
the
is a
Florpus.
sequel to Enter the Florpus, sequel to the series, and I was really hyped about it. So
Nice.
I wanted to talk about Invader Zim. Then also, I just because of the announcement of Gendy Tartakovsky's new show Primal, I finally went back and finished the last couple episodes of Samurai Jack, which I had put off, of season 5, I
Yeah,
think.
5.
The season they made years later.
Yes.
Which is great. So Samurai Jack was on the line. For whatever reason, Samurai Jack and Batman Beyond sort of hit just those shows are of a piece to me, so that was one of the reasons I wanted to do Batman Beyond. And also Batman Beyond is what if Batman were Spider-Man? So the fact that you've liked Spider-Man, I just thought that was and also the cyberpunk shit, like I just thought that
Ooh,
was
yeah.
a good one to do for you. And then Mystery Incorporated is just, we talked about it. It's good Scooby-Doo. Also, it's Scooby-Doo with the overarching plot is fucking a Lovecraftian thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what that's what the plot of that thing is.
That's great.
100%. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And again, yeah, I have a little bit of experience with all of these.
Yeah.
So for Invader Zim, I've never seen a full episode. So I did just quick recap. I think I did like, let me check here. I did 5 episodes of Invader Zim. Honestly, if we had like recorded this episode like in a week, it probably would have been like a full season of each of these shows. Like I was ready to dive. So yeah, I did 5 episodes of Invader Zim. I did the first 3 of Samurai Jack, the first 2 of Batman, and just the first one of Mr. Inc.
Gotcha.
So apparently, the only clip that I'd ever seen of Invader Zim, like on TV. Maybe, you know what? Not even like, even including the internet and everything. Still, the only clip I've ever seen from that show is from The Walk of Doom, episode 3B, where he tries to get lost in the city, and then he's like staring at the sun, and his eyes like burn or whatever. Like they start bugging out. That's the only clip I'd ever seen, and I like changed the channel because I wasn't. It's not that it was like, oh no, what is this? It's just like, okay. Where are my usuals?
Yeah.
Where's, I don't know, whatever I was
Where's
watching.
SpongeBob?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only thing I'd had with that show. But of course, like, so many people were into it that I had like ambient knowledge of sort of what was going on, kind of. Let's see. Samurai Jack. I actually tried watching this like years ago. I have no idea what happened. I don't like watching it. I actually question if I was watching Samurai Jack. Like, I started the first episode. I remember a long time ago, I watched supposedly the first episode, and it just, I watched maybe 4 minutes of it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not in the mood for this. And I don't remember what it was, but it is not at all what I remember from the first episode. Like, I watched it, and I'm like, wow, this is good. What the hell was I watching? I don't know if I was just in such a different headspace at the time that it just didn't appeal to me, or what was up there. But yeah, I always knew that, like, you know, super popular, and the new season, I knew that Mako, who played Iroh, was a coup.
Yes.
So that's dope as hell. Yeah.
His opening narration. That opening narration for Samurai Jack is burned into my brain forever.
Is real good. Also the cyberpunk from that's like so cyberpunk. Like it's dope.
Yeah.
Even in like the I guess what would it second episode when he's like fighting in the bar, and there's like that bumping dark wave music in the background, and he's like a samurai. I'm like, holy shit. Neo Tokyo, hello. Like it was so good. Yeah, so that was like my I like, and then I saw that they made the new season and whatever, and people were hyped. I guess I never truly knew that they didn't complete that series, but given that it is a cartoon, there's probably like what a 90% chance that it just ends at some point with a not satisfying ending. Yeah. So
yeah, no, I mean, they kind of, there was a part of them when they were making it even that was like never wanted to end it. That's like, no, Samurai, he's just gonna have adventures forever. It's the fate of this character.
Yeah.
But you know, they came around.
Endings are good.
And they gave it
Yeah.
Well, and also just like, you know, telling a complete story over a season, which is not how that show goes generally.
Yeah.
It's way more episodic.
Yeah, and then Batman Beyond, it's like a weird duality of, I think I have the most experience with that show, but I was just so stupidly young that I don't remember it well. I remember the opening a little bit. I certainly know I watched at least several episodes of it. And I probably would have done more, except like we didn't have cable or satellite, so it was like a special experience when I was with my grandparents. I guess I clearly like never saw the first episode. I knew there was an old dude. I thought the old dude was so what I thought Batman Beyond is that Batman died, like straight up. I thought he died. I thought the old dude was Alfred, and for some reason I have a very clear memory of same old dude saying like, I was there when it happened. I was there when Batman died. Maybe he did, thinking on it, maybe he does say this and he's talking about like Batman metaphorically or something. Like when he picked up the gun. I don't know, but I thought it was Alfred. And I like yeah,
spoiler, it is not Alfred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely not Alfred.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember this scene so clearly from like maybe a trailer or like an ad, like an advert for the show or something.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, very, very weird. But yeah, like I watched a little bit of it, and it was it was it was one of the cartoons that if I was flicking through channels and it was on, I would watch it at least.
Gotcha.
Just like, yeah, zero memory of what actually occurs. But yeah, that's like the basis for everything, really. Where do you want to dive in first?
I guess let's start with Zim, because that's what brought us to the dance.
Okay. I wanted to start by saying, great show. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know how we're counting episodes. I'm like in my folder, I'm on the 5th file, but it looks like they just like one episode would be 2 11-minute episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just
that
was, for cartoons, that was not uncommon.
Yeah,
at that time for sure.
So, I guess like episode 3B. It won me right away. Like it was real dope. Just the animation style is so good. Like even by, I guess I want to say like today's standards, like it's so good. Like the animation specifically is outstanding. There's lots of little things that I'm enjoying. I think it's a great show. In the same breath, I also fully understand why my first girlfriend was into it. Like I can watch this show and be like imagining all of the people that I knew who had like stuffies on their backpacks, and I'm like, I get it now. I understand why you specifically watch this show and why you said rar and were so random. I get it. I understand. It makes sense. But it's really good. It's really good. And like, Guru is adorable. I don't like. I would put a plushie of him on my backpack.
So I will say, for me, Invader Zim didn't necessarily make a good first impression. It kind of did, but my arc with it is very similar to my arc with Futurama.
Okay.
Where like, I like the first episode a lot, but something about like the idea of this bigger story that it was doing, that it then kind of just falls into episodic nature just at the time, for whatever reason, with both those shows, like turned me off. So that I then like stopped watching pretty shortly after watching the like first couple episodes or whatever. But then coming back to it like several years later and then going, oh, I was stupid. This is just great.
Yeah.
This is really good. Although also my thing with Invader Zim for a while was just, there's just so much yelling. I could just do with less yelling.
That was like like that was one of the things where like I could just imagine the people I knew who liked the show watching it. Like, what is it? Like, yeah, it's still like the episode 3A, parent teacher night. She's like, yeah, you said you would bring your parents, and he's like, you lie. I'm like, okay, well, we could
so much screaming.
We could tone this down a little bit. The cereal warning was for Dark Harvest, but he's stealing everybody's organs. It's so good, but also I almost threw up. Like, there was the first person he stole an organ from. They do like a thing where they like go through his belly button. I was very nauseous.
Yeah, it's so the the guy who created it, John Vasquez, he did this. He has this comic, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, which is like way more edgelord and just dark and fucked up.
Great.
So like this is like him. This is Invader Zim is him being more mainstream.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
appealing to the
approachable.
masses. Great.
Yeah. It's just he's so far skewed to the one side that him coming back like delivers something that's still pretty fucking dark. And I still honestly can't believe this aired on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Like it's still pretty wild to me that
Dude.
this was just, I mean, like the side of that is that like it didn't last on Nickelodeon that long. Like it didn't thrive in that space, but that's where it came from.
Like, I mean, the fact that he's actually stealing organs is great. Like, that alone, like, okay, this was allowed on Nickelodeon. But then, like, they show him and he's just, like, stuffed with organs. And he's like, I've been working out. Like, it's so good. And then it just, the specific bit, like, an example of animation thing that I really loved was, at the end, like, the nurse is checking him out and checking Dib out. She's like, oh, so many organs. You're such a healthy human boy. And, like, after she says that, he, like, Zim kicks his legs a little bit. Just, like, he has his hands while he, like, kicks his legs, like, yeah, I know. And it was just such a nice little, like, it just makes it that much funnier to me. And then, of course, Dim, like, tries to breathe, and there's a cow thing in his lungs, or where his lungs used to be. So they're all like, oh my god, alien. But no, it was just so, I mean, it was disgusting. But it's also funny. Yeah. It's a rare combination for me where I'm like, oh, I'm going to throw up. This is great though. Let's keep going.
I will also say for me it's weird going back to early episodes of Invader Zim because I do think that show just gets better as it goes.
Okay.
Like, I actually think the best episode of Invader Zim is the last one.
Wow.
Damn. The final episode, which is a Christmas episode, is
amazing.
It's the best.
Okay.
Actually. And like the movie even like builds on that momentum, even though it comes so many years later. Like, so the movie is fucking really good. And, like, the animation is, like, really impressive. It looks really great.
I have 29 episodes. Is that everything? I don't know. Or does that sound like everything? I mean, the last one, yeah, it says the most horrible Christmas ever. So.
Yeah, it's only 27 episodes.
Okay.
It was the first season is 20, and then the second season is 7.
I think they just got some ordering wrong here, maybe.
I don't know.
I bet I know what it is. Let's see. Let me look at the time here. Details. Okay. No. Okay. No, I don't know. Whatever. I feel like it's all there. And if it's super episodic, like, if like one 11-minute chunk is missing, it's probably not terrible.
Yeah, so one of the best bits from the last episode is like it only became a thing because of like other episodes getting cut because they couldn't do them.
Wow.
But like Zim just suddenly has another sidekick.
Oh, great.
He's like, my other sidekick who's been here the whole time. And they just never got to make the episode that introduced that character.
Nice.
It's pretty amazing.
That's pretty great. Just like the non-acknowledgement. Nice. No,
there's a thing of he's been here the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm looking forward to going through this one. I mean, I'm looking forward to going through all of them, but like, you know.
Yeah. Also, season 2 has more of like a episode to episode like stuff happen, like it's carried over more than in season 1. So I like that.
No, even
Like the when it starts like building to stuff.
yeah, like it seems like they're doing honestly the closest thing the closest thing that I've seen recently that I can compare some of this stuff to is like Space Dandy. Just in the sense that like at the end of the organ harvesting episode, like the media is there and Dib Dib is an alien, and like I assume that it's just not gonna. I assume that when I start up the next episode, people aren't going to have all their organs missing and whatever. And sure enough, yeah, it's just like not acknowledged.
Yeah.
There's not dead kids all over the school.
Nope.
So, but like that doesn't bother me. Maybe because I watch Space Dandy, and that's like the entire show is like we're going to end and just never speak about this again.
Yeah. I mean, there are plenty of shows that do that.
Oh yeah.
That's that was like, and particularly back then, like that was the norm. Honestly.
Yeah. See, I never watched a lot of those. I guess, or I didn't watch enough to know that it was like I could watch that episode and be like, oh man, I wonder what happens next. And then if I see another episode of the show, I would be like, oh, this must be before everybody lost their lungs. Just assume that like it's earlier I don't know.
Garbage truck going by.
Naturally. Every time Salt Circle is recording, they got their timer.
Like it's because we're a garbage cast.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it.
It's thematic.
They've come to collect. Yeah, Invader Zim, very good. It's
very good.
I mean, for all of these, like straight up, I've already like torrented all of them in their entirety. That happened real quick after watching.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Invader Zim. It's like I can't say that for the next show I want to talk about, but for Invader Zim, it definitely gets better as it goes along.
Yeah, where are we going next?
Let's go to Samurai Jack.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Super solid.
So this is
like incredibly good.
So this is Genndy Tartakovsky's show. He'd worked on Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls before this.
Okay.
And like the big thing with this show is just it was completely driven by the storyboarding, like that, and then like the writing came afterwards, which became more of a thing at Cartoon Network after this show, kind of. And I just love like one of their approaches is if we do something cool, why not do it 3 times? That thing, like when he like just swings his sword, it's like if he's gonna cut this thing, why not have him cut it more than like just 3 more times?
Yeah, just show it a bunch.
Just yeah.
I mean, it works, so it's cool.
Yeah. So this was, I like the amount of episodes that were like low dialogue stuff. It was just really, at the time, it was pretty striking. So much of the cartoons are like so dialogue driven and so jokey.
Yeah.
It's not like this isn't jokey and there isn't like cartoon characters that show up, but it also has those parts where like there's no dialogue, or like kind of one of the parts when the show's at its best.
It's something that speaks to that is honestly going in based on like the little bits of Samurai Jack I had seen, like tiny, not even clips, like just tiny amounts of. I actually thought he didn't speak. Like I thought he pulled a Link from Zelda, just no talking at all. Because whenever I would see it, he just wasn't. And if the main character is not constantly babbling, then they must never speak, you know?
No.
But no, it's real, like the second episode in particular. Like, again, just recently saw it in Mandalorian. Like, the fact that he's just not talking a whole lot and he's just doing stuff. Like, it's really, really good.
Samurai Jack, voiced by Phil Lamar.
I probably should know who that is.
Done a shit ton of work. So I don't even know what to point to.
Bill.
If you've seen an animated thing, he's probably been in it. Honestly.
All right, let's just check this out. Okay, yeah, Futurama, sure. The Weekenders, yeah. Oh, Invader Zim. Good lord.
Yeah.
Good lord. This is a lot. Fillmore.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is
Also, he was on Mad TV.
yeah, that popped on Wikipedia. That popped up. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Afro Samurai. Holy shit. Is this like the most decorated voice actor of all time? Good lord. I mean, in recent years.
I mean, he's one of the most prolific.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, I guess the fact that I knew his name without knowing anything about him. All of those credits just burning into my brain.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Oh. This is great. Good lord. I keep scrolling and it keeps going. We're only in 2009. There's Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
Huh?
He was in Curious George. He made it to PBS. Oh my god. This is unreal. BoJack. The Star Wars Rebels. This is crazy. Okay, anyway, back. Disenchantment. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Is this just like, if someone like makes a cartoon, do they just assume that he's going to be in it? Like, does he just show up day one for recording?
I think so. I think he's
like,
required to have Phil Lamar in your show somewhere.
Like, he's in everything, dude. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What? He hit every Star Wars show. All right.
I mean, when you're in every show.
Yeah, yeah.
That happens to include every Star Wars show, yeah.
Word.
But yeah, anyway. Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
It's real good. And it definitely has a Legend of Zelda style setup.
In what way?
Just in terms of like this character with a sword who's like the savior hero.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, travels through time, defeats the evil, you know.
Yeah.
There's elements of it.
Yeah, no,
But also
I
it
can
just,
see
you
that.
know, you have this ancient samurai dude stuck in the dystopian future.
Which is so great.
Yeah.
God,
He's a fish out of water, man. He's a fish out of water.
And that's I was actually going to bring this up to you at some point, but if there is like maybe not necessarily shows, I guess maybe more of a movie thing I prefer, but that's like possibly my favorite trope of all time. Like, yeah, me and Ani watched Christmas Night, where the dude is brought to the future from like the 4th century or whatever. Completely inaccurate, like totally stupid. But that concept drives so much of my enjoyment for things. Like, someone being, it's like different than, like, you have stuff like Pocahontas and Avatar, right? Blue People Avatar, where it's like, guy goes to like place, indigenous peoples are there, he learns their ways or whatever. Like, not necessarily that. That's a little.
Unless you're not into the white savior plots.
Yeah, which, you know, now that you're using that term, I feel pretty good about not being into them. Feeling nice about that. But like, Something like Animorphs, right? That was like the alien Axe. Like seeing him like learn about human cultures and stuff. Like that shit was dope. Him like people out of time and they're trying to adjust. That sort of shit is fantastic. And even with like, yeah, of course that comes up in Samurai Jack. Like they're in the rocket ship and he's like just about to die. What the hell is happening? Like he just does the full thing where he just falls out onto the ground. Like thank God.
Yeah.
No, very very good. And that it has like no,
Yeah.
I was a little worried that they were going to particularly like when he arrives at the bar or whatever, the club, and like those people are messing with him, all the lizard guys, cyber lizards. I'm like, are they gonna do a thing where he's a great warrior, but now like his methods or his sword are ineffective or something? Because that would have been annoying. But they didn't do that, and he kicked their ass.
Nope.
It was great.
He's very effective.
Yeah.
The thing they do this, they pull the same trick that the Ninja Turtles cartoon did, which is if you have a character uses like a bladed weapon and you want them to be able to just cut everything, but it's still a kid show, you gotta fight robots.
Yeah.
Then you can have your character just cut loose.
Yeah, like you cut off their hand, and I'm like, oh, it's a robot. Like everything else is organic
man.
except their arms.
Everything's a robot until season 5. Then it's all blood.
Yeah, I saw that it has like a more. Well, wasn't it on like Adult Swim?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also like I don't know if it's necessarily higher quality, but like I could actually watch all of it. All of Samurai Jack is on Adult Swim, which is pretty nice. Like just for free. You don't need to be subscribed to anything, so that's cool.
Yeah. It's good. Samurai Jack, definitely they just kind of lost the thread at some point in the later seasons where they were just making it to make it before it ended. So I wouldn't say you have to watch to the end of the old stuff before going to season 5.
Well,
I don't really know a good place to cut off, but
I mean, what
kind of wherever.
At some point, like even anything with like 4 seasons on it, at some point it goes from being the thing that I just am watching and like taking in to the thing that I have on while I'm like playing Magic or Isaac or something.
That's totally fair. Yeah.
And especially if it's like completely episodic, that I can just leave it. Or if
it's completely episodic, even to the point where like the last episode feels like a weird. It's just like another episode. It was a weird place that it ended up stopping.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah.
That 5th season though.
The 5th season, yeah, dude. I had to download that one separately.
Yeah.
I also didn't know. I mean, in terms of tone, it's probably a good sign, but I didn't know if someone was pulling my leg or not because all the episodes are just Roman numerals. But I'm like, okay, this is intentional. That seems cool as hell. Like, I know that just looking at those and being like, I know exactly the tone they're going for, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some great episodes in there, particularly early on. Like there's this one with these 3 archers that has like I think almost no dialogue till like maybe the very end.
Nice. No, I'm excited.
It was just such a cool thing where like the art really drove that whole project.
Yeah. Which is great. And the music is incredibly solid as well.
Yeah.
As I said, like the music in that club in episode 2, like holy shit. It's actually like the most cyberpunk thing I've seen. It's so good. Felt like I was
Also,
playing
just that
Shadowrun.
intro, just it's so good.
The like the
Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. It's just the Mako delivering that is so fucking good.
yeah, dude, it's
Like literally every time that show is on, I just okay. Well, I have to watch the intro at least. At least.
did they get who in the new season, who did they get to do Aku? I'm asking, like, did they get the same guy that they got for Airbender? Or that
I
those
don't
people got?
know. They definitely did a sound alike. I don't know if it was the same dude.
Because that'd be interesting.
I think it was. Yes, it was the same guy.
Okay, I mean that's cool.
Yeah. He does an acceptable Mako impersonation. I could tell it's not actually Mako, but
Yeah.
it's good. It's not like I revolt. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah. As long as they're not like totally disrespecting it, like, I don't know, they get George Takei to voice like, oh hello.
Yeah, I really didn't want a different take on Aku. There's probably less Aku in the last season than there might have been if Mako had been alive, I would say.
Which is
Like, he has plenty of dialogue in certain episodes, but also I do feel like there would have been more of him. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like, they're being, as long as they're like caring about it, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking. I don't know if you checked already. I did. It's the same guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I checked.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I have those Wikipedia articles open, Ben.
Hey, the Wikipedia skills are
I clicked a couple buttons and then
fastest Googler in the West.
Well, if I were the fastest Googler, I wouldn't need to have these Wikipedia articles already open.
Well, I mean, it's politeness, right?
Oh, the secret is I've already Googled it.
I know what you want to ask. I Google before you ask me. Yeah, no, Samurai Jack is maybe the one I'm most excited for. I think I say that hesitantly because, you know, who knows after 10 episodes of everything, but
yeah,
I think just because it is such a, like you said, the art drives it, and that's like that's stuff I care about now. Like, that's very important to me. It is like, especially with video games as well. Like, to a certain extent, I don't give a fuck, but if it's something weird and artful, I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. So,
yeah, and I'm like watching those first 3 episodes again. It is like, oh yeah, they got better at this. Particularly, like, they just overuse slow-mo so much in that last fight.
yeah,
It's just it gets a little much, and they don't do that again. They learned their lesson. But yeah. Whereas this next show, I would say the quality is pretty on point with the rest of the show right from the start, and that's Batman Beyond, because they're coming off a different great show and folding right into this one.
So that was, oh yeah, go on.
Just that Batman Beyond, like, you think it's like, oh wait, you're doing a future teen Batman? It's like, what is this horse shit? And then you watch that first scene, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
it's such a good transition scene because it's such a good way to say this is why Batman would quit. Like, they're like, Dark Knight Returns, famous comic, where Batman is coming back from being retired. But really, no story before this cartoon, I think, really showed me a reason why Batman would retire well. Like, this story nails it.
Yeah. No, as soon like even with even with my limited knowledge, like that's one of the things, right? So as soon as he did that, I'm like, oh fuck. Like that got really real. Like
Yeah.
no, it was
Like,
incredibly good. Um yeah. It's very good shit. This
it's
was
just a great bridge in the one scene to get us to where we
yeah.
start in the future with Batman being a retired old man.
I will say this was the show I thought would hit the least for me. Just because like Batman is fine. Like I really like the only experience I watched Batman Begins. I really loved it. I watched Dark Knight. I really loved it. When there was a Batman game on the Super Nintendo, which I should probably play again because I really like that game. Thinking about it, but like I don't love Batman, so I wasn't really sure. And then I like watched the first episode, I watched the second episode, but especially the first episode, and that's when I messaged you and said like fuck you for showing me 4 shows that I want to watch because I have other stuff I would like to do. Like I was really hoping at least one of them wouldn't really bang, but nope.
Yeah, it really hooks you. They did they did a good job of hooking you.
Like the only thing I could think of was that the jump in time looked like we made a lot of progress as a species, like incredibly quickly. Like in terms of the time skip, but like whatever. If it gets us to cyberpunk Batman, like I'm there.
Also, it's comic book reality you're starting from. Also,
Yeah, that's true.
so
So there's I'm sure there's a perfect explanation as to why the police cars looked like they were from the 60s. And now we're in like the year 2200, but it's fine. Maybe the
it's true. There was a lot of retro style stuff already in Batman the Animated Series.
Maybe the police,
Although I guess
just had a low budget.
Technically, they'd updated that already. No, it's just a style thing, man.
Yeah.
It was the style of the time.
Yeah, no, that I don't know. It definitely hooks you, yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, the show this is coming off of, Batman the Animated Series, is the best version of Batman. Like, it's better than Batman comics.
Are they wait, what's the title?
Batman the Animated Series.
Just straight up. Are they linked at all? Like is Batman Beyond supposed to be coming off of that a little bit?
Yes, the same.
Oh, exactly.
Kevin Conroy is still voicing Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
It's the same. It's exactly the same. I think, or at least most.
I don't
want to
watch 5 shows.
No, some point in the future, that one is so much more episodic. I'll just give you specific episodes to.
Gotcha. Okay.
To do at some point.
How long is it? Like, is it a
that
long
one? Well, I mean, they're 22-minute episodes, but like the thing that's great about that show is they just give all his villains a lot of humanity.
Gotcha.
Like the episodes are like the best episodes are really like the origin stories for the villains and stuff. Like they're just really good and tragic at its best. And then there's other stuff in there too, and there are plenty of, like whatever episodes, but like at its best, it's fucking great. Also, there's a movie. There's also a Batman Beyond movie that came at the end of the series.
Yeah, I saw that. I was a little I mean, not confused, but I don't know if I'm going to bother with it yet, I suppose.
It's good, but it like takes place kind of after the TV show anyway. The big thing with Batman Beyond and the way it's structured, it's weird. Where the first season, the first whatever, which is like 13 episodes, is more structured as like a single story, and then like the second season is 26 episodes, and then it becomes way more episodic.
Okay.
It basically has like there's an arc to the first season that has a conclusion, and then it kind of transitions into a different show where it's these episodic adventures and doesn't go anywhere. So like the first 13 episodes are the thing I would the strongest recommend. Like there's plenty that's good about the rest of the stuff, but you can kind of just watch those and then watch maybe the movie, and then that's like the important stuff, really. Annoyingly, they did like so then they did the Justice League show, and there are a couple episodes that bring back Batman Beyond stuff, and one of them is fine because it's just those characters get involved in a big time travel thing, but then they made like an epilogue episode to Batman Beyond that I hate. That's terrible. It's just really no good. And I will also say I haven't loved any of the Batman Beyond comics I've read. I feel like none of them hit strongly enough at the thing that makes this show so good, which is that it's what if Batman were Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like that's what's so good about Terry is he's basically just Spider-Man. And a lot of his villains, so they only do throughout the series, they only bring back one old Batman villain, which is Mr. Freeze, who is like Batman the Animated Series' version of Mr. Freeze made that character matter in a way he literally never did before, because he was just a dumb, cold-themed villain before that.
Yeah.
But like the Mr. Freeze episodes of Batman the Animated Series are among the best. So they bring him back.
Okay.
And then the movie, they bring the Joker back. But that's
gotcha.
It.
Other
than that, it's all new
I was
villains.
wondering if how the Joker would show up if he shows up, because we have like the gang. The
Jokers.
Yeah,
no, just that gang until the movie.
Oh shit! I remember what I was gonna ask about Batman the Animated Series. There is like I guess maybe not famous is the right word, but like one of the clips I see of like Batman villain interaction is like him and Harley Quinn, and he's like being a decent person to her. Is that from that? Do you know? It's like
I mean, Harley Quinn is from Batman the Animated Series.
Okay, so
she's not a.
So then just probably yes, I would say.
Yeah. That's like, and also all her appearances in that are better than what they did with her in comics afterwards.
Great.
They kind of just fucked her up when they introduced her to real comics.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's
as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, because she just started, they would just like want a henchman for the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
But then she was so good that she kind of became a bigger character.
Yeah. I think she's fine. I like a lot of real life people have just ruined her for me.
That's fair.
There are some things that I enjoy, and I like it when people can like do well from a show or a film or a comic or whatever. Someone's Harley Quinn impression is never going to be one of those things ever. Actually, it's a real fast way to lose me as a friend is be like, yeah, I'd cosplay Harley Quinn and then do the voice. I'm out. Keep that shit to yourself. I don't want. It's so annoying. I don't know. It grates me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Batman Beyond is solid. I mean, it's more cyberpunk.
Yes, it is more cyberpunk shit.
God bless.
Also, Terry just murders people.
Yeah, I was gonna say he
Like
seems
that
like
dude
a
at the
more
end.
violent Batman.
He's
Well,
just like he
yeah,
does not have the same hang-ups that Bruce Wayne has, I'll say.
yeah. Um,
That dude gets murdered at the end of that episode.
I love
Like he gets electrocuted and then drowns, I guess.
yeah. Well, for now. I mean, we also thought he
Yeah.
killed the what's his name, but then
Yeah.
he's an evil laughing glow boy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because comics.
I loved how Bruce Wayne like shows up and he's like, I want to hire Terry. He's a good kid. Um, and just how like casual like his mom is handling. Like, you didn't tell me you knew Bruce Wayne. Like,
Yeah. It's pretty good.
it's so casual. Like, you know, come home one day and my mom's like, you didn't tell me you knew Keanu
Punk
Reeves.
kid knows this billionaire.
Yeah. Ben, your friend Bill Gates is here.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm, as with the
Also,
rest of these, looking forward.
I love that his dog, Bruce Wayne's dog, is Ace. He's Ace the Bat Hound.
Oh shit!
in,
It's an
classic
actual
comics.
thing. Amazing.
Yeah. Well,
the
like
Bat Hound.
he's like he's the equivalent of Crypto, where he was a dog that wore a Batman mask and cape.
Yeah.
Old comics. This version never wears a cape, but he is Ace the Bat Hound in spirit. That is what that character is. He's great. What a good boy.
Yeah.
What a good boy.
The best doggo. I'm curious about like maybe it's something that's connected, but in like the Batcave, he has like all of those other suits. One of them definitely just looks like his OG Batman suit, like just the basic one. But the other ones are all different. Like, would that have been?
There's Batgirl and the Robins are in there.
Okay.
I think Nightwing.
Okay. All right. I was just curious,
Yeah.
like if those. Like,
No, those are specific references. I think the only new one is the new bat suit.
Mm-hmm.
The Batman Beyond costume.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good shit.
Yeah. It was a good time. And now let's, circle back around to Scooby-Doo
Hell yeah.
Mystery Incorporated,
My
which has the very novel premise of what if Scooby-Doo were good?
I mean, it still has one of my bigger hang-ups, like I don't know, it's like stylistically maybe. And as soon as I found this out, I was really confused when I found out this fact, because it's been true, I think, in like every Scooby-Doo series. I'm not going to say variation, because I'm sure of course there's a comic out there where something's different, but like, I do not believe for 1 second that all of these people are teenagers. Don't you dare try to pull that shit with me.
They're definitely teenagers.
None
What
of
are you
them look
talking
like teenagers, really. Like, almost none of them. Like, Velma, maybe. Daphne, possibly. What the hell is up with Fred and Shaggy? There's no way. There's no way. Those are 35-year-old men masquerading as high schoolers.
They have a look.
Yeah, and of course that's just it, right? Like, they're not going to change the appearance entirely to make them look more teen, but it's just, it's whatever. It's not important. I just like...
And I mean, one of the jokes in this series is they're fucking weirdos.
Yeah. No, that's great. Even in just like the first episode, we get that.
Yeah.
I love that we get to see like their parents.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I know Shaggy's dad is voiced by the original Shaggy.
Oh,
Casey
nice.
Kasem. But Fred is still voiced by Frank Welker, who originally voiced Fred.
Oh my god.
Fun fact.
Jesus. Oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. I love that fact.
That
is just
how
the
old?
same dude voicing Fred.
How old is he now?
Let's look that up. Frank Welker is 73 now.
Bam.
He was born in 46.
Well, I mean, consistency is key, I suppose.
You know, famous for voicing Megatron in the original Transformers cartoon.
Very nice.
I think he did the voices for Appa in Avatar.
Oh, hell
He's
yeah.
also a lot of times does
he's like the guy who does
noises
the
for Animal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that means he I'm pretty sure that means he did Gravemind in Halo 3. I'm pretty sure and I know whoever did Gravemind did Appa, at least partially, which is also wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's I wanted to watch a little bit more of it, but I mean, even just in one episode, I'm like, yeah, this is good. And I did notice a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but even like when Velma is doing the museum thing, like this is the minor 49er. I'm like, I reckon like this is a dude, right? This is from like the old series. And like the diving suit thing, like I recognize some of these creatures or costumes. I guess.
There's like definitely a thing where a lot of the original, I think like the original Scooby-Doo series has happened in this world.
Yeah,
but maybe not a lot of the other stuff.
Okay.
But definitely they've had adventures. They've solved mysteries already, and they reference stuff.
Yeah. Like I mean, the fact
but
that
yeah,
it starts
when me and my friends first started watching it, mostly we were struck by they're fucking dating? What is going on?
Yeah.
And we were so struck by the romance stuff in it that like it took us many episodes to decide, no, this show is actually just great. It's not just fucking weird.
Yeah. No, the tone of it and like the style of everything. I like how they just like everything looks pretty like it, just stylistically and animation wise, like it's very solid. I don't think it's anything like crazy. But then their eyes are still like all fucked up. Like they're just like little lines with a dot. And like it's not I don't know. It's
I don't know. As the show goes on, actually, the thing that impresses me is like that like still shocks me is like the show has really good action animation. Like it's just really good. And there's like and stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's actually really good at that stuff.
Nice.
I don't know. This show is actually just great, and it goes places.
Does it have like a firm ending, or was it another like?
Yes. No, it has a firm ending. It has a firm structure. It has a big cliffhanger at the end of season 1 that then builds into season 2.
That's great.
It's just completely well thought out and structured.
Mm-hmm. I actually like. I forgot to ask. Does Batman Beyond have like a firm ending as well, sort of something, or is that
no?
Just
as I said, like that first 13 episodes has a firm structure, and then it kind of just goes
even through like the second season, and it just kind of ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the movie is kind of the capper for it.
Ah, okay. I should get that then. probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing that's necessarily final about that movie, but it is like his biggest fight or whatever. Like it's a thing. I would say that's really the end of the series.
Yeah.
Again, there's that prologue in Justice League, but I don't want to talk about it. It's bad.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Scoob.
Yeah.
I don't. I had a hunch that like I thought the monster in the first episode was gonna be real. Because like, I mean, clearly this stuff was like the fruit thing, whatever. Like that obviously is very clear. But like, why were people being dehydrated in it? Like, why are these bodies like being sucked up? And like nobody referenced it. Like we just never came back to like,
Yeah.
is this like stuff actually? Like, should we be eating this? If it's like
One of my favorites is like there's an episode where like there are magicians using wizard powers. It's like, yeah, no, you were just using jetpacks.
Oh my god,
All explainable.
that's great.
It's just like there is magic and evil, but also
Jetpacks.
it's still
fucking fruit.
but also they still like go into just the Scooby-Doo thing of, no, this was the criminal and this was how their plan was concocted.
Yeah,
The scam artists.
which is fine. Like I don't mind that in general.
Yeah. But also there's an ancient Babylonian demon, you know.
I mean, dude. Love. We're hitting cyberpunk. We're hitting Lovecraft. Like, oh,
Yeah. There's a character who shows up. It's called H.P. Hatecraft.
classic.
That's a character.
It sounds like it's referencing something, but I can't imagine what.
Yeah, it's just good. It does lots of good things.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how it like gives those characters character. Like this version of Fred I really enjoy, where he's just obsessed with traps and trapping things.
That doesn't surprise
And he
me.
has
That sounds like a
no-
Hank thing.
No social skills at all.
Yeah. Or like how he's just
Pretty.
like straight up, even in the first episode, like Daphne's all over him, and he's like, yeah, this is great, but like, what if I added an extra rope to this trap? Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. No, this is one. It was like Samurai Jack and Batman Beyond have those strong, like opening couple episodes that were like, I think, presented as one thing at the time. Like, oh, there's this big premiere.
Yeah,
They were like events when they premiered.
that makes sense.
So they have like a thing. So like in Scooby-Doo, it's just every episode is good. And again, it took me a while to even realize it was good when I was watching it, even though I was enthralled. I was just like, this is just so fucking weird. I'm just so confused. What is happening? They're like doing stuff with Scooby-Doo. They like have characters and they're dating. What's
fucking amazing.
happening?
Hank has Scooby whiplash. Like, I don't even know what's going on. That's so.
I was
great.
watching with two other people. We were all just like, we were just baffled. What is happening?
That's amazing.
We were intrigued. Intrigued. But the thing that doesn't change is Scoob and Shaggy are pretty much just Scoob and Shaggy.
Yeah, no, they're like exactly the same.
Because I don't know, there's something. The thing that Scooby-Doo always had was there's something about that dumb Scooby voice that's like appealing. There's something about it that just works. It's stupid, but you know.
I also like that
It
you
was-
can just. I mean, this is. I don't know exactly how it was handled initially in the series or like throughout the series, but like Just the fact that, like, yeah, he's talking. Like, he's gonna dress up
Yeah,
as
no.
a waitress with Shaggy, and like it's fine because he can talk.
Yeah.
Just that.
That is no. That's just how the Scooby-Doo always was.
Yeah.
It's just, this dog talks. There's no explanation.
It's so they can have him say "ree."
Yeah, exactly. And then there are other dogs. They do not talk.
Yeah, yeah, just normal.
They're also just regular dogs.
I mean, one thing you should
But,
warn me about: does Scrappy Doo appear in this series? Your silence tells me all I need to know.
I don't think he actually shows up. They definitely reference him as with like a shiver.
Yeah, okay.
I don't. I'm pretty sure Scrappy doesn't. I can't even remember, but I'm almost positive he doesn't. Now in the movie, my strongest Scrappy-Doo memories are from the live-action movie where he's the villain. It's the reveal at the end.
Yeah, yeah, I recall.
Remember
seeing that one.
Yeah, but because they also reference the kid who's from 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, who's like the other Scrappy. Because there was 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo was a series that like nominally had a plot, except they never finished it. Where like Scooby-Doo unleashed these 13 ghosts, and you had to go catch them. And Vincent Price was this wizard guy who was telling them what to do, and he shows up as like a TV character in this show. Character. But also it was only Shaggy and Daphne. Fred and Velma weren't in it. But instead they had this tiny kid who was just a little shorter, taller than Scrappy, who was another Scrappy, basically. It's a thing.
Yeah, that sounds no bueno. Really. Man, I'm even like I was so at the end of the first episode they like find that key. And then it like ends with the dude who's like, "You found that key? How dare you? You've unleashed something."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Lewis Black shows up.
I'm just like, I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued. Like, I'm curious.
No, the
even
ongoing
like
mystery's really good.
And like Fred's dad was looking at the key a little bit, like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
And they got me. Like I'm,
yeah.
I'm very interested.
So, one of the things that I love that's like sort of also references like all the Scooby-Doo knockoffs of other mystery solving groups is that like it's a thing throughout history of these groups of 4 people and some kind of talking animal trying to solve this mystery or being tied to this thing that ends up pointing to this demon basically from outer space. Like it just has it the way it weaves in Scooby-Doo meta lore and actual lore and builds a Lovecraftian narrative around it. It's just
that's really good.
It's just so well thought out. And also there's Sheriff Bronson Stone, who's just a great character.
Yeah, yeah. And that's wait, is that the character's name or the actor's name? Because like
that's the character's name.
Okay, I don't know the actor's name or the voice actor's name.
Yeah.
But like that voice.
Yes. No. Yeah. Pretty.
Yeah. No. You picked 4 bangers.
Yeah.
And I was also briefly. I mean, I was debating like trying to download like Surprise You and do a bit of Ultimate Spider-Man, but I think we're gonna do a Spider-Man episode at some point. So really,
Spectacular Spider-Man is the one.
Spectacular
Ultimate
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man I hate actually.
Spectacular
So-
Spider-Man. I was looking it up. There was too many Spider-Mans, dude.
There are too many Spider-Mans. But so the thing that I point to is that one of the guys who directed this, Victor Cook, was one of the guys who worked on Spectacular Spider-Man.
Okay.
before this show. That was a through line for me, where
Gotcha.
this guy is good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, the thing with Spectacular Spider-Man is it was made by Sony.
Right.
They had
See,
the
that's
animated
why I was trying to
license,
look. I
and
couldn't
then
see.
like they renegotiated the deal, Sony and Marvel, so that Sony could keep the movies and do those Amazing Spider-Man movies, but they gave back the TV animation rights.
Mhm.
So then Disney Marvel started Ultimate Spider-Man instead.
Okay.
And that has one of the most hateable Peter Parkers I've ever seen. I hate him.
See, I was looking for. I was.
Just active dislike.
See, I remembered Sony, and I remembered like Disney acquiring like whatever. So I was looking for it, and I couldn't find Sony necessarily.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Okay,
And
Spectacular.
Spectacular Spider-Man is there's much fewer episodes than there would be of Ultimate Spider-Man probably too.
Oh yeah, sure enough. Here we go. Sony Pictures Television. Yeah. No, so really I have 5 series to watch, along with anything else that I want to watch. So
You're welcome.
it's a hard life.
It's a hard life. All these cartoons that happen to be good.
Well, I could have
something
saved
good.
so much time by just watching them when I was 5.
That's true. That's what I did.
I mean, minus Scooby-Doo, of course.
Yeah,
But like, I think
that's true.
at the time, I without ever having the only way I was gonna watch that is if I went out of my way to watch it, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna go out of my way to watch Scooby-Doo. So
Oh man, I gotta know. I gotta know. I mean, I don't really want to watch the new Scooby-Doo movie.
yeah,
Don't.
yeah.
I've
no, I
now
have-
like this is also like, oh good, they finally did good Scooby-Doo. Now I don't have to care anymore. I don't have to. I'm not waiting to see if they can do it well now. I'm like, I've seen the best you could possibly do with this.
yeah. So
If
you're
you're
just
gonna
leave
not do that anymore, I'm good. Keep all that over here.
Nice. Yeah, this was an incredibly successful Ben Gets Cultured session.
Nice. I'm glad.
I mean, I don't know if maybe we do a follow-up or something. Because I know I'll be watching all of these.
Yeah. I mean, we could do follow-ups whenever you finish one of these shows.
Yeah. I'm also, like,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, again, with Invader Zim and Samurai Jack specifically, like if you got to season 5 of Jack or got to the movie of Zim,
Yeah.
also.
I'll probably, I'm planning on finishing them maybe, probably, I think it'll be, like, equal, because there's actually, it's also, like, a perfect balance that I can, like, I watched, 5 episodes of Zim, and it's great, but, like, with episodic shit like that, sometimes I get burned out a little quickly.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just
No, that's
binge.
fair.
So I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
watched my 4 episodes of Zim. Well, let's switch to something else. I'll watch however many episodes. Like, I can just bounce back and forth pretty nicely.
That's true.
Because
good-
yeah, they're all
it's a good
like
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're all different enough that I don't think I would get too sick of all of them. I guess maybe like the only thing with how long Samurai Jack is and what you said about like the episodic stuff, that might be the only, that'll turn into like an Isaac series.
Yeah.
So yeah, Batman. Let's see. Samurai Jack just has the season 5, which I downloaded. Invader Zim has the Enter the Florpus, which is on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I might also just download for consistency. Batman Beyond has just the one movie as like a capstone.
Return of the Joker, yeah.
Return of the Joker. And then Scooby-Doo is just like on its own, right? There's no like
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
or anything.
it's just season 1 and 2.
Okay. So like another 2 movies to get potentially. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah, I got
episode.
we covered like everything.
I just check the email real quick. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
don't think we got anything since the last episode. No, we didn't.
In the last 2 days.
Yeah. Hey, you can email us at saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on at Salt Circle Pod on Twitter. Salt Circle Podcast on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Fun fact, our most popular episode by far on Spotify is the Berserk episode.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That's weird.
I don't know. And like the second most is Digimon Tamers. And the third most is like Digimon Adventure 01.
I wonder if that's because like both of those shows have newer media associated with them. Like Berserk just had the other anime that came out that's shit.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no explanation for you. I just happened to notice that. And you can find me on Twitter at Comic Panels.
And I'm on Twitter at bean_LP. I guess in terms, I was thinking about like, it sucks. Hank has seen too many things, so we can't do any Hank Gets Cultured. Like, there's such a vast knowledge. But that made me think of Dragon Prince on Netflix. Finally fell off that. It was going pretty nicely, and they introduced one too many villains. Or one too many threads. I guess I don't even know if it's a villain, but I'm not accepting new characters at this time, so I'm a dip. Like, it was going great. We had our established, like, our good guys, our gray areas, and our, like, bad guy and big bad. Or possible big bad. Like, we had enough stuff, and then an episode ended with another person, like, in a gray area. I'm like, I'm out. I don't care. I don't care enough to, like, keep track of this much shit. Clearly,
They ruined the balance.
they ruined the balance, and like clearly we're not banking on a nice crisp 3 seasons like Avatar. So I'm gonna dip.
The endless style of storytelling.
Yeah, like
Just gotta keep throwing out more lines.
yeah, and that was my thing. Like, I was so I still haven't returned to Voltron. I was so offended by the big baddie, like, not being the big baddie, sort of, kind of. But I wasn't prepared for it mentally. And I was so disgusted. I might come back to that.
think I'm
She-Ra,
behind
though.
on that,
She-Ra surprised
maybe,
me.
Yeah.
She-Ra got, like, I thought it was going to be... I stopped because I thought it was going to be too much, like, princess power nonsense. And hilariously, like, one episode, maybe 2, but probably one episode from where I left, like, where I stopped, they abandoned that. Like, it went in the complete direction that I wanted it to go in. But I was like...
I've been there with shows.
Yeah.
I've definitely walked away because I was disgusted with a thing that really wasn't where the show was going.
Yeah. I will say, I remember you mentioning with She-Ra that you wanted more, like, She-Ra Catra stuff. Catra?
Yes. That was literally all... I loved their interactions. It was literally all I wanted, and I hated all the other good
where
guys.
Did you leave off, roughly?
Pretty early.
You might want to revisit. I won't even come close to spoilers.
I've heard
but
that
you
from a
might
friend I
wanna
watched
revisit.
it with, watched a bunch more also, and he told me the same thing.
Yeah.
That it gets better.
Yeah, no, there's some. I mean, it's nothing. Maybe just nothing will ever come close to like Zuko's storyline, but
I mean, probably not.
it's
That
good.
show is so fucking good.
yeah, no, it's wild how I there's a lot of good shows out there. There's a lot of new stuff I've seen and experienced, and like Avatar is still just real far above everything for me.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Yeah, no, I thought that was, given it's a cartoon episode, I thought that was worth mentioning. Yeah, Dragon Prince. Ugh,
No, that's fair.
they went too far. They dug too deep.
Dug too deep. So it goes.
Yeah.